All right, let's get right into it. Today we are tackling something that is absolutely critical. What to do if you're in a car crash and a fire breaks out. This is one of those situations where every single second literally counts, and knowing the right thing to do can change everything. So, picture this. There's the jolt of an impact, you're in shock, and then you see it. Smoke. Your mind is racing. What is your very first move, right now in this second? That's the exact moment we're getting ready for. And here's the thing, and it's kind of scary when you think about it. What your gut tells you to do in this moment might actually be the most dangerous thing you could do. So this is all about overriding those natural instincts with a clear, life-saving plan. Okay, first things first, let's understand the scene. When a fire starts after a crash, the stakes are just unbelievably high, and you have almost no time to think.
You know, after a crash, you're going to be disoriented, maybe even in shock. That's totally normal. But the second you add fire to that equation, that confusion explodes into a life-or-death emergency. A car can be completely engulfed in flames so fast it's terrifying. You have to act immediately.
So this brings us to the most important part. In all that chaos and confusion, there is one thing, just one thing, you need to figure out that will dictate everything you do next.
And here it is, the key takeaway. There is no single playbook for this. What you do is based entirely on one simple assessment. How big and how intense is that fire? That is your decision point.
So think of it like a fork in the road. Are you looking at a big, growing, intense fire, or is it a smaller, more contained one? Your answer to that one question changes everything.
Let's tackle the worst-case scenario first. We're talking about an inferno. If that fire looks big, if it's spreading fast, if it seems out of control, the rules are simple. They are absolute, and they are not negotiable.
This says it all. Forget your phone, your wallet, your purse, none of it matters. Your only job is to get out and stay out. Get yourself safe, help others get safe, and do not go back for anything, period. And getting out isn't enough. You have to get away. The minimum safe distance is 100 feet. Why so far? Well, it's not just the flames. You've got fuel tanks, in newer cars, high-voltage batteries. Things can and do explode. That 100 feet is your survival zone.
Okay, so what about the other path? What if the fire is small and it looks like it's contained? Now, you might be able to do something here, but this is exactly where those bad instincts we talked about can get you into a world of trouble.
You can see the do's and don'ts right here. Sure, stand upwind, use sand or dirt, or if you have an extinguisher, make sure it's a class B or C. That's for fuel and electrical fires. But honestly, the don'ts are what we really need to focus on. This is where things go wrong.
But first, let's just lock in this one critical do. You have to position yourself upwind of the fire. It's so simple. You want all that toxic smoke and that intense heat blowing away from you, not right into your face. It's a small move that makes a huge difference.
Okay, here we go. Mythbuster number 1. You see smoke pouring from under the hood. What's the very first thing every fiber of your being is telling you to do? Pop the latch, right? Get a look at it. Well, that is the absolute worst thing you could possibly do.
And here's why. A fire in an engine bay is often starving for oxygen. The second you lift that hood, you're giving it a giant gulp of fresh air, and whoosh. You can turn a small, smoldering situation into a full-blown inferno in a split second.
And now for the second huge misconception. Fire means you use water, right? That's what we've all learned since we were kids. But in this specific case with a vehicle fire, it is dangerously wrong. Think about it like a grease fire in your kitchen. You know, you never throw water on that, right? It's the same idea. Cars have gasoline, oil, and other fluids that don't mix with water. Throwing water on them doesn't put the fire out. It just splashes that burning fuel everywhere, spreading the fire and making everything so much worse.
So, let's bring this all together. Look, I know this sounds intense, but the goal here isn't to scare you. It's the complete opposite. It's about empowering you to switch from that moment of raw panic to decisive, purposeful action.
When you know what to do, and just as importantly, what not to do, you have a plan. And having a plan will beat panic every single time. It gives you confidence in the middle of chaos.
So here it is, your action plan, boiled down. 1. Assess the fire, big or small. 2. If it's big, get 100 feet away. Drop everything and go. 3. If it's small, get upwind. And then the 2 critical rules to burn into your memory. Do not lift the hood. And do not use water. That's it. That is the plan that saves lives.
And that just leaves us with one last thought. Now that you know all this, now that you know your own instincts could be your worst enemy, how does that change the way you think about safety every single time you get behind the wheel? I really hope you never, ever need to use this information, but being prepared is everything.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.